here's the bottom line. Peter Thiel and Alex Karp, and these guys go deep, big time with this Palantir thing.
Yep.
They literally have a stranglehold, okay, over even the NSA's database. You people that think you've built this big, huge house with a bunch of hard drives for the NSA and you're concerned about that and worrying about your phone records, that's the least of your concerns. These guys have a lock on the entire freaking global business community, as well as, guess what? Law enforcement.
Yes.
They have sold multi-million-dollar, even hundreds of millions of dollars, billions of dollars in contracts to corporations and law enforcement all around the world.
The actual price can go anywhere from $5 million to $500 million to have the Palantir system installed in your business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. And of course, Rand Paul is scheduled right now. It's confirmed directly with Rand Paul's campaign. He is scheduled to meet with Peter Thiel, with Alex Karp, and Joe Lonsdale immediately after Bilderberg, 2015.
And this isn't the first time he's met with these guys. I mean, obviously, they are they're buddies of his. They play golf together. We're talking about a politician here, and he's no different than Obama. He's no different than Biden. He's no different than Hillary Clinton. As a matter of fact, Peter Thiel also, a Palantir Corporation, also contributed to the Clinton Foundation.
Yep, that's right. Mm-hmm. Now, we've also included that information in the article that we will link in today's episode. Mm-hmm. We are now coming right out to say, there's no doubt about it, that the fraud that has been perpetrated upon the American public, not just through, we're not going after a, let's say, a political adversary. Mm-hmm. I mean, I would love to have somebody like Rand Paul step up and say, geez, genetically, he would be something like his dad, Ron Paul. But there's no chance of that at this point.
Ron Paul accepted, I think it was right around $26 million from... No,
2.6. It was 2.6.
Was it 2.6? Yeah. Okay, yeah, I knew it was 2.6. He accepted money from Peter Thiel. I have a problem with that. Big problem with it.
He did, but overall, his career was huge as a congressman. He spoke out a lot of truths about the Constitution. I learned a lot from Ron Paul. If by chance his son were to follow suit and we were to hear lots of good things, the bottom line is, am I anti-business? Am I anti-corporation? Am I anti-free market or any of that stuff? You know what I'm anti? I'm anti exactly what Rand Paul is doing, which is pretty indicative of what our entire establishment is doing. They're lying to us. They're not telling us the truth about what they're doing behind closed doors. Now, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? The information that they are collecting and that they're analyzing, guess who's providing them that information? It's we the people. It's we the slaves in this system that Palantir is earning billions and billions of dollars for, that Rand Paul is going to earn millions and millions of dollars for by helping them out. Rand Paul is assisting these guys to set them up with a private sector equivalent of the Federal Reserve. We'll be back right after this.
Many people have experienced the benefits of drinking all-natural Life Change tea. The unique blend of 8 herbs helps detoxify your body so you can live a healthier life. Numerous testimonies have been given about the benefits of drinking Life Change tea. So are you drinking Life Change tea? Interested? Log on to getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. Many are so impressed with our product, they order a year's supply. And why not? When they do, they receive 2 months free. That's a $70 savings. The body is meant to heal itself. Sometimes the body just needs a little help. Get the tea at getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. Or call us at 928-308-0408. That's 928-308-0408. This is not an ordinary green tea and is not available in stores. This tea helps with digestive problems, acid reflux, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and as talk show host Jerry Doyle says, it'll make you as regular as a baby bird. Enjoy your life. Get Life Change tea at getthetea.com.
Hi, this is Danny with the Pete Santilli Show. And for almost 1,000 episodes, I've been responsible for making sure that Pete does everything he can to piss off the Department of Homeland Security, the FBI, and the CIA. In the coming days, we're going to be kicking it up a notch. And there's no doubt that every three-letter agency will be having nervous breakdowns trying to figure out how to silence us. Our message is simple. It's time to get every single American who cares about what's happening in this country in the streets to shut the system down. We're not willing to sit around and wait for the feds to come get us. We're going to take it to them, but we need your help. Obviously, corporate America won't be cutting us a check so we can shut down their businesses, but we need the support of our listeners. Please go to thepetesantillishow.com/donate and help support our field reporting. You may not be able to join us in the streets, but this is the best way you can help. Go to thepetesantillishow.com and give now, because giving feels free.
Aloha, this is Tahiti Joe, the maker of Tahiti Joe's Hot Sauces and the Maui Pepper Company.
The saga of Tahiti Joe's hot sauces is a very tasty story. Tahiti Joe went exploring the South Seas for the spices and was easily sidetracked, but don't tell his lady.
Then, after a few months, Tahiti Joe blended a beautiful array of spices with clam juice and honey.
It had a sweet tropical flavor, and with the heat of the peppers, it reminded him of the islands.
Tahiti Joe had to name the new sauce, and Tahiti Joe's Hot Sauces was born. Try it as a chicken wing sauce,
Barbecue, marinade,
or use it to create a delicious Polynesian Mary.
So, visit www.tahitijoeshotsauces.com today to satisfy your cravings for
Tropical taste sensation.
www.tahitijoeshotsauces.com.
I will go so far as to say this is much bigger than even Rand Paul, okay? Here's the bottom line, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, Rand Paul is actually just a cog in Peter Thiel. I mean, these guys are powerful men. They're the most powerful men. They're at Bilderberg 2015.
Yep.
They're at the steering committee level. They established the agenda, which includes artificial intelligence, okay? This is not data mining, data collection. This is data collection, data storage, data mining, data analysis, okay? And predictive frickin' analysis. And they're also creating artificial intelligence, which means that they're analyzing all this stuff. And if they want to change our vote, okay, and they want to create an atmosphere and change literally through mind control technology. Sometimes it's subtle in the form of social media. Sometimes it's in the form of a predictive analysis of your conversations, knowing what your purchases are going to be, analyzing that, selling it back to the corporations. Here's the bottom line, though, before we went to the break, okay? Everyone needs to recognize this, okay? This is where myself, and you better be as well. If you are a freaking Paul Bat zombified, Paul Bat, if you're so zombified, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to demand that these corporations, okay, that are lying, cheating, stealing, and doing stuff covertly with the help of the intelligence services, with law enforcement, okay? For instance, law enforcement now, thanks to the good graces of covert Rand Paul, okay, but not disclosing this stuff, now law enforcement has the ability to, we'll just go with public information that's available in the private sector. We don't have to worry about going to the NSA. And they don't need a search warrant for that. They can just go do a Palantir search. And for all of your data, right? They don't need a search warrant, do they?
Well, and actually, it's not just a Palantir search. I mean, Palantir is a software that is put in your system.
Software platform,
It's a software platform. So all they, I was looking at how Palantir works, the system. Because that's what it's called. The system is called Palantir. And let's say if they wanted to come after... I'm just going to pick a name out of the... Pete
Santilli.
Okay.
Use my name.
If they wanted to come after Pete Santilli, they put your name in there, and they already have a data bank on you. They already have all of your data is banked.
All of my emails, all of my conversations, all of my banking transactions.
They can start from today, this morning, and they could say, oh, look, Pete Santilli went to the bank this morning, and he drew cash out of the bank. And then they can say that you went to the bakery and you used your credit card and you did this and you did that.
Right.
Now they've been doing that. Everybody leaves a paper trail.
Right.
Okay. And so they can go on and say, oh, and look at this. He gave to this and he paid this bill and that bill. And oh, look, Pete Santilli he's an activist. He went to Baltimore and he spent this.
Look what he said on Twitter.
And they can, and look at his Facebook and look what he said and look what he does. And what they do is they keep all of that data and they do something really nefarious with it. What they do is they let this computer, the software, predict what you're going to do next.
Right.
That's what they do.
Okay, now let me tell you how dangerous that is. Because if the FBI or the CIA wanted to find somebody to go out and do a suicide bombing or blow up the Oklahoma City building or do the World Trade Center bombing or do all their stuff. Let's say they take 10 people and they say, we want to find 10 false flag candidates. Let's go to Palantir and find out who are the likely candidates, that we could surround them on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube with all these bots, have neighbors come to them and create this fake environment and set them up with bomb making material.
And the Palantir software automatically categorizes everyone.
Right.
Automatically.
Right.
The housewife, activist, extremist.
They know that Aaron Alexis is a freaking perfect candidate to go ahead and implement some mind control technology and get him writing freaking low, ELF, extremely low frequencies, to get him to talk to him, to get him to do what he's going to do. Because guess what? We already established, we predicted that he's the perfect candidate to go out and shoot the naval shipyard.
And why we always say, why, and where does the FBI find these people? They mostly find them on social media, on Facebook, which Peter Thiel actually gave seed money to get Facebook started. And they usually go on social media, and that's where they find people. And how do they find them? Because Palantir software points them out. And they go to those people and they ask the software, would this person be a likely candidate for domestic terrorism? And the computer spits out, yes.
Right.
And they go after that person. They say, hey, dude, we're on your side. Blah, blah, blah. And we're going to make you, we're going to show you how to make a bomb.
Now, let me ask you this. Now, by the way, we don't have time to go into every single detail, but we will have it all published. Okay. But let me ask you something. When Palantir was first started and the intelligence agencies became interested, how did they approach Palantir? Did they come in there almost guns ablaze and saying, yeah, this is great stuff, the CIA? No. Well, remember when they surrounded their building and said, we want in on this stuff, right? You remember that? When they first met with them, remember you said they came in with guns? You were the one that told me.
No.
The building was surrounded with security.
No. They actually, I know what you're talking about. No, actually, Alex Karp is the one who went to the CIA.
The intelligence services.
He is a Marxist. This guy studied Marxism, and he's a big socialist. He's a Marxist, right?
Right.
So he wants a liberal, this guy. Alex Karp wants nothing to do with guns. He said it shocked him that when he went in there, everybody had a gun and he was intimidated.
Oh, okay.
He was very frightened because the first visit he made, Palantir, actually, Peter Thiel and those guys went after the government. They wanted those big government contracts because they knew that that's where the money was going to be. Right? Okay. And then the CIA reported back later that they were intimidated by Karp because he was the way he dressed, disheveled, and he was dressed funny, and and they said, we don't know if this guy's for real. And then when they saw the actual software and saw what it could do, they said, holy crap, holy crap, holy crap. Yeah. And the military, the Department of Defense, the CIA, FBI, they all said, oh my gosh, we love this. And that's how they became partners. And that's how Peter Thiel and those guys made billions of dollars off of the police state and off the military industrial complex.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, Rand Paul stood up in front of the Senate and never once mentioned, that the private sector itself has all of the databases. They have all of the software technology. It's the private sector that you most want to worry about right now. That the private sector already has that in their own hands. They're analyzing it and they're selling their services to the government.
That's right.
Okay. Now, he was standing there at the podium, and I'm picking on Rand Paul because I'm exposing what's going on here.
He's the one that's been most outwardly.
He was the one.
He's been most outspoken.
Right.
And and you start looking at it, and he's doing absolutely nothing to stop the mining of your data and protecting your privacy. Rand Paul is doing nothing.
I heard
nothing.
Danny. I heard Danny mention, like, somebody said, "Oh, he's just trying to be an insider, pretend like he's with the." No, you know what?
That's baloney.
Here's the bottom line. This isn't about Rand Paul. If you're too fucking stupid to realize how big this is, that it's much bigger than Rand Paul. That in fact, the entire government, the entire Senate, the entire Congress knows about this databasing. They know about the private sector's power, and they're not discussing it. Okay, so it's not just Rand Paul; it's the entire establishment. Let me give you an example. Alex Jones is part of it. Alex Jones right now knows that this is going on. He knows through his connections with Rand Paul. He is supportive of Rand Paul. Okay, and Alex Jones knows about Peter Thiel. He knows about Palantir. If he doesn't, he does now.
No, he knows.
He does now.
Come on.
Paul Joseph Watson did a presentation yesterday about the Bilderberg attendees. Never once mentioned Peter Thiel's name. Why is that?
Never once mentioned him. He mentioned everybody else and gave them a rough ride.
Never mentioned Alex Karp. And the top topic at the Bilderberg meeting 2015 is what?
AI.
Artificial intelligence.
Yep.
Who is leading the technological effort in artificial intelligence right now?
Peter Thiel.
Peter Thiel and Alex Karp.
That's right.
And Infowars.com is not mentioning it. Now, not saying that they're dirty, okay? Now, Alex needs to make a decision. Am I going to be a political puppet of the Rand Paul campaign and withhold this information? Remain. Am I going to be a political puppet of the Rand Paul campaign at the expense of all humanity? Because guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Here's what you are. You are a person with a soul that is providing all of the energy into this system that they're analyzing, that they're surveilling, that they're doing everything. Every single human being is inputting data into this artificial intelligence system, and they're earning billions of dollars on your back. Yeah. What I'm asking is that, guess what? If you're going to use my freaking data and you're going to analyze my purchases, and you're going to do all this stuff, and knowing full well that you're entering it into a database, and you're adding all of our information up, and you're collecting billions of dollars, why aren't you going to freaking pay me? Why don't you pay everyone in the Palantir system? Because we're the ones that are inputting the freaking data. We're the ones that are building their freaking system. Right. We're the ones that are running their freaking political careers. We're the ones that are paying Washington, D.C. How much of that freaking money do we get? Right. Absolutely none of it. You know what? I want to sue Peter Thiel's balls off.
Yeah. I think that people need to start suing the Palantir Corporation for using their data and making money off of it.
Yeah, I don't care about Rand Paul.
If we are going to spend all the energy, all of our time, and putting our information on Facebook and on all of these social medias, and they're going to and they're going to follow us in everything that we do, and they're going to use all of that data, then we should be compensated for it.
Yeah, that's right.
They should be paying us for our energy our data.
That's right. And anybody...
I think I'm owed quite a bit of money at this point.
And guess what? Anybody that comes out and says, well, Peter Thiel is just going to try to get in office.
He's making billions off of our data.
Yeah, they're making millions of dollars. They're making billions and billions of dollars. And if you're saying that Rand Paul is just, well, he had to lie in order to get in office, then you're a fucking dum-dum. You are. You are allowing... You are allowing the system to continuously be corrupted so that they can go out and reach more people with a much more positive message. Right. Guess what that is? It's called compromising your fucking integrity. You should be demanding to be paid for the data you're inputting into the system and looking for a candidate that's going to step up and say, guess what? What is being done is called slavery.
Yes.
And guess what? We did it with the Federal Reserve in secrecy. We did it with the Federal Reserve, and guess what we got 100 years later? A collapsed system of freaking debt enslavement. Well, guess what's happening right now in secrecy? They are putting together an info enslavement system where you are inputting data for free. They're earning billions of dollars on it, and they cannot tell you the truth about what it's about. Why? Because it screws up their data. That's why. And everyone wants to come up in an excuse because they found their candidate that's, if he gets in there, he's going to do the right thing. Fuck you. Get out of my way. You're just as much an enemy to my state by supporting Rand Paul lying, cheating, and stealing his way on up the chain of command. Shut your freaking cake hole and get out of my way. I want to get paid by Peter Thiel. How about that? I'm a free market capitalist. Freaking pay me. I don't believe in the enslavement system. Do you? Do you? Do I make a point here?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sick and tired of these freaking thieving people. They did it with the Federal Reserve. All the profits go to the freaking private banksters. Guess what? They're doing it with the freaking with the internet and with this Palantir AI system. All the profits go to them. We're the freaking slaves. I'm sick of it. And guess what? This, ladies and gentlemen, is an issue where you get people that walk up and they say from the Rand Paul campaign, dude, can you just keep your mouth shut? Here's $1 trillion. Okay. This is a multi-trillion dollar. This is literally a multi-trillion dollar system that we're exposing here with Peter Thiel and Alex Karp at the top of the heap at Bilderberg 2015. And there's not one freaking bag of cash that they could ever give me. I asked you this question. You tell the truth about this. Did I not? You and I were sitting in the room all by ourselves. And I said, this is the type of thing where somebody would walk up to us and say, you guys just keep your mouth shut about this. Don't expose it. Here's $1 trillion. And I asked you, what did I ask you?
You asked me if there's any amount of money that would keep
our mouth shut about going forward with this.
Yeah, that I would keep my mouth shut. And I said, no.
I said, neither would I.
No.
We're not going to do it because we're not doing this for us, right? There's something much more important here. All of humanity is literally at stake here. They want to make us all freaking info slaves. And they want to use every freaking excuse on the face of the planet. And they even have their minions and bots parroting the same crap that they're spewing. We have to do it for our safety. We have to do it for terrorism. We have to do it and you could go around the whole freaking gamut of excuses as to why they want you to be a slave and accept it. And you need to say, enough is enough. I want to fully expose this thing. You take this episode and you shove it so far up Jabba the Hutt's butt and tell him that he can't sit on this anymore. And he needs to make a decision here. Is he on the side of humanity, or is he saying to himself, as they all do, well, if I don't talk about 9/11 evidence, I could reach more people with a much more powerful message. So I will therefore hold certain information about 9/11 evidence, about the freaking Jews, about freaking Freemasonry, about the Jesuits. I mean, are we adding everything up that Alex Jones is sitting on so that he can reach more people? At whose expense is this, that Alex Jones is sitting on all this information? Why would he not, by 2015, have figured this out and start exposing the truth to all humanity? Guess what? He's going to be surpassed by who? By we the people. We the people are going to get this information and we're going to share it. And we're not going to rely upon the Pete Santilli show or the Alex Jones show or the mainstream media or a bunch of fucknuts in our thread that are saying, I still support Rand Paul. We're not going to rely upon our political groups. That's my point there. I'm not picking on any individuals. Don't rely upon anyone but your own freaking brain.
The Pete Santilli Show has been growing strong since 2011. That's almost 4 years of bringing you the kind of information you will never find on AM/FM radio. Pete Santilli and his crew have brought stories like Clive Bundy to the national spotlight, the border crisis in McAllen, Texas, and has bravely confronted corrupt legislators who would imprison pastors like Reverend Edward Pinckney and Ken Hovind. Recently, the Pete Santilli Show traveled to Baltimore, where he stood side by side with the people against the tyrannical police state, just like he did at Bundy Ranch. For 4 years, the show has been a voice for the oppressed and targeted in this country, and now we have our sights set on getting long overdue justice for the survivors of the USS Liberty. Donations to the Pete Santilli Show not only guarantee we remain on the air without being censored, but it also gives us the power to go when and where we are called. There is so much left to do. Go to thepetesantillishow.com/donate because giving feels great.
Pressure, We usually associate it with stress and negativity, but sometimes a bit of pressure can be healing. I'm Dr. Catherine Albrecht, and I'll be back to tell you how conditions like nausea can be cured using the traditional Chinese therapy known as acupressure. Acupressure is an ancient practice that uses finger or hand pressure to cure everything from headaches to constipation. The pressure is applied to points known as meridians that are believed to control the flow of energy in the human body. Acupressure offers a simple cure for nausea you might try the next time you get a queasy stomach or a case of motion sickness. Simply apply moderate pressure to the point known as P6. You'll find it on the inside of your wrist, about 2 fingers width down from your palm. Placing pressure on the P6 point works on the same principle as those pricey anti-nausea wristbands, but this relief is free and always on hand. I'm Dr. Catherine Albrecht for StartPage.com, the world's most private search engine.
Have you heard about Life Change Tea? Major talk show hosts, celebrities, and many others have been talking about the benefits of Life Change Tea. Not a fad, but a choice to enhance your health with an all-natural, non-decaffeinated, non-sugar energy drink that you make at home. For about $1 a day, you can benefit your health in a way you've never dreamed of. That's why the buzz. Join those who have made the choice for better health. Taste the drink that is changing lives. Read the testimonies at getthetea.com. Want to order? Need to order? Log on to getthetea.com. Appropriate name, I might add. That's getthetea.com. Or call 928-308-0408. That's 928-308-0408. Say no to sickness and disease. Get your power of health back, but you need to order. GetTheTea.com. Helps with cholesterol, liver disease, Crohn's disease, digestive problems, and much more. That's GetTheTea.com.
May I go to the telephone line real quick here?
May.
Okay. We have a lot to cover, and just to let you know, I have Fred Finger still on the line. Fred, are you still there? Very quick comment. We got to move along here. Very quick comment. Fred,
good rant, and I agree with everything that you said about Peter Thiel.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything you disagree with?
Hello?
Is there anything you disagree with about what I said?
Well, I just think there's a positive aspect, and I think you're leaving out the power of the free market and the thousands and thousands of developers. I am one of them that are out there that are not going to put up with this shit.
Sure.
And as long as we don't put up with it, it's not going to work because we have programs that can encrypt our data. We have programs that can divert our data and send them wrong crap where their analysis will not even work.
Right. That's
you
what
ever
needs
heard
to happen.
you heard the term garbage in, garbage out?
Yep.
We could turn our data into garbage where their analysis will be worthless and their AI will be worthless.
That's exactly right.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to work.
This is my point, Fred, and everyone needs to recognize this. This is not, if we focus on Rand Paul or we focus on Alex Jones, and everyone's missing the point. Here's what we need to focus on is you as an individual, okay, are inputting data into a system that they say they can't tell you about it. Otherwise, the data will be skewed. They're going to earn millions of dollars. You're going to be the freaking slave inputting data. That's what this is about, is it not?
At this point, yes, it is.
That's exactly what it's about. So if anyone wants to pick a fight here, it's not against Rand Paul. It's not against the government. It's not against the fight is for saving humanity from freaking info enslavement. You will not be paid a dime for all of your busy work. We are providing all of the energy, including companies. I mean, all of these companies are giving up their databases so that they can get the predictive analysis info from Palantir. That's how they become so powerful. All we need to do to stop Palantir is to expose this what is happening behind the scenes, and that is that people are not allowed to know what's going on. Otherwise, their data is messed up. They have to keep it a big secret so that they can keep us enslaved. I say we expose them. Shut Palantir down.
What we're doing here.
I agree, but still the principle of garbage in, garbage out applies.
Yeah.
You got to have John McAfee on or that Captain Crunch guy on.
Yeah. Who was the other guy? What was the other name?
I forgot his name, but he's closed by Captain Crunch, and he has a whole website where you could download apps that encrypt, and it's actually a virtual private network. It turns your stuff into virtual private networks.
Yes, no, that's awesome idea. Now, here's what I will say is that I'm not going to trust any of those bastards. McAfee, I'm not going to trust Alex Jones. I'm not going to trust Joe Schmo. I'm not going to trust any of them. You know what I'm going to trust? I'm going to trust the power in the human being to wake up to this stuff, to do the research, to go through the links. Now, I put a link to the article, okay, as well as links to the previous article. The article Rand Paul, Peter Thiel, and Alex Jones never want you to read, and you have to go do your homework. I trust that you as an individual understand what's at stake here, that we are literally fighting just prior to Bretton Woods, that we're fighting to make sure that this system, okay, this info enslavement system is not turned over to the private sector, just like the Federal Reserve was. We must stop Palantir. They are at the top end. They are the all-seeing eye at the top end of this thing. And the government is saying, well, we can't manage the data through the NSA. We found out that we're too incompetent to do that. Let's give it to the private sector. And it's the same thing as what they did with our monetary system. We can't run our money. We need to give it to the private sector. And what do you get? You get Ben Bernanke saying, well, Congress gave us the authority to do this.
Yeah. And let me tell you something. I'm sorry. I agree with what Fred is saying. People need to start getting smart, and especially these guys out there who are just as smart as anybody on Palantir's team. But the problem is that they do have a team. And anytime you come up with a VPN or encryption, these guys figure it out, they crack it, and it's worthless. So it has to be people have to be vigilant, and the people that are out there that are smart enough, they need to be helping humanity at this point.
They do.
And every time they come up with something new, they need to get it out to the public so the public can use it. It's our only chance. Either that or everybody's going to have to turn off the damn computer.
Am I against the advancements in technology? I'm not. Am I against the people, human beings, souls, okay, here on this planet being used as slaves to make artificial intelligence valuable? I'm absolutely deathly opposed to it. That God does not want us to be a bunch of slaves to their freaking system.
Right.
Because Peter Thiel is going to have freaking mechanical arms on his body and he's going to live forever. Us, we're going to die with a freaking tumor on the side of our head because he's also affiliated with Monsanto, isn't he?
He's also affiliated with Monsanto. He gives, actually, Monsanto gives money to them. It's terrible. But listen, not only listen, I think the best thing that we can do at this point is educate people, because the Supreme Court ruled that data mining is unconstitutional.
By the government.
By the government.
By the government.
It's also, we need to make sure that it's unconstitutional by the private sector. People need to start screaming as loud as they can, get this information out, and start talking to people about this, because it is going on. I think people right now would be more open than they ever have been if you tell them the truth. I really do.
Here's the thing. This episode right now, every single person hearing my voice, okay? If you want to, you're vigorous in the chat rooms and you're vigorous on YouTube and you're very vigorous on pursuing and learning the topics that are very passionate to you, I hope that this becomes the most passionate issue for you, because all other things fall below it. It is the all-seeing eye. You must share this episode. I'm not talking about claiming credit for anything. Nothing. That's not what I'm looking for.
Right.
I'm not looking for that. I honestly mean that. If I were looking for wealth, fame, and fortune, we wouldn't be at such risk. This would be the one thing that will take us out. This is the one operation that can afford to step forward and do this. They're going to try to freaking take us out. I guarantee you they will do everything to make sure that this information does not get out. You must fight past that. You must share this information no matter what happens from this point forward. They do not want humanity to find out about this. Am I overblowing this? This is the topic they don't want to get out.
No, we are well into the information age and the age of technology.
Yep.
This is our future, and this is how they're going to enslave us. They do it already. People will sit in front of their computers for hours and hours and hours on their smartphones and putting data. Nothing you do is private anymore. And Palantir has made sure of that.
Yep. I'm not looking for anything other than what I'm sucking wind just said. Pete, you totally expanded on it, and I thank you. Expanding on it and awakening people so that they can go do their own research as a living soul here on this planet Earth. Now everybody else has an obligation to take this information, because we're going to delve into something very important that I know my next caller knows all about.
Well,
he knows it. Oh, go ahead.
Brett keeps telling me that I'm wrong here. Not everybody has the wherewithal to come up with encryptions and buy software.
Right.
Because, and not only that, but they don't even know that this is happening.
They don't. Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. I do believe that what he's saying is the people in the private sector that have access to encryption, they have a role in this thing.
They do.
But this is going to require every person rising up. And we're going to rely upon those in law enforcement that know that what's being done is wrong, because they know that they're circumventing the laws of the United States of America. When it's unconstitutional to go to the NSA to get their database information, they're going to go to the private sector and not have to require a freaking a search warrant, right? Because it's available on the internet. That's what they're going to use, that lame ass excuse saying, well, we don't have to worry about the Constitution anymore. This private company already has marketing data.
Yeah.
Right? And this is available on the internet. Pete Santilli put all this data out there. It's not our fault. We're just going into the public domain.
Yeah.
So the FBI has access to it through Palantir, through the private sector, which is outside of the U.S. constitutional freaking law, through the TPP now. They're going to do this through the TPP. Let me go to Kenny. Kenny, you know that this AI technology, this mind control technology that exists, it's directly tied to freaking Palantir system. You know that, sir.
Oh, absolutely, Pete. If you remember when I first met you, I told you, Pete, this is the technology that's going to destroy mankind. And they're way above. You can encrypt all you want to. They're actually literally, people don't realize it and they don't want to believe it, but they're reading your thoughts before you put an encryption on them. So we're in deep trouble if people don't wake up. Even if they do wake up, I don't know that we can stop this. This is so evil that it's unbelievable. But I appreciate that with your research and what you did on that to get this information. That was great. I'm telling you that right now. And then let me go another thing real quick here, Pete. They let Sheila. I talked to Sheila last night. They were letting her out today. She was talking fine. Nothing was wrong with her. I called her today to see how she was doing, and she was screaming. They're trying to kill me. She was panicked. She's screaming. She hung up on me. So they're hitting her with this technology. I mean, these people make me sick.
Yeah, they're very sickening.
That go along with it.
They're very sickening. We're going to expose this. It may seem hard to believe that it goes so far as, we're talking about Rand Paul and talking about data collection and data mining and U.S. constitutional law and stuff like that. This technology goes so far, ladies and gentlemen. And Ken, thank you so much for giving us that update. Let me give you an example, ladies and gentlemen, of what they're doing. And this isn't, okay, we see it here on our desktops. If we mention lunch snacks, okay, our computers are now showing us lunchable lunch snacks, okay? Your conversations are being studied. It's being converted to text, and they're formulating through your internet connection, through your cable box. They're listening to you.
And your phone conversations.
And your phone conversations. They're serving up ads. Now, they're using all of this technology and refining it for marketing purposes. The private sector is actually developing it and refining it.
Right.
Okay. This AI technology, okay, how that mixes into it. Picture this. Okay. If all of a sudden you're talking among your family members, okay, and let's say politically you're leaning in a certain direction, and they want to just condition your entire family to start becoming, liberal leaning or libertarian or whatever it is, or to support Peter Thiel's, by the way, look this up, Project Blue Seed, to support having boatloads of illegal immigrants available for labor offshore. This is what Peter Thiel supports, by the way. They could all of a sudden start concocting fake conversations with you in YouTube threads, on your Facebook,
and they do.
putting ads on television.
Yep.
now you're going to be on demand. They're going to be putting up ads on Google TV saying, hey, tune in now to Project Blue Seat on freaking A&E or whatever it is, right? And just conditioning you. They will be able to create a fake life around you that is influencing your political aspirations, your political leanings, your political thoughts. They will also control what your purchases are, what you're buying. They will also study your habits and be able to predict that next week you will want green grapes. And then they're going to go to the grape companies or the grocery stores. They're going to say, hey, put green grapes out there. Or let's say they go to a gun manufacturer and say, hey, a lot of women are going to want pink guns next month, right? There's an uprising going on with pink guns. We analyze that. Go ahead and stock up shelves and get them all over the place in front of everyone.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, here's the key thing. You are providing all of this input into the matrix. They are earning billions and now trillions and trillions of dollars off the backs of all humanity. They are benefiting financially. You, on the other hand, they say, well, if they're too stupid to know, then, oh, well, they're just lower life forms. I have much more respect for my fellow human beings. And that's why we're bringing this forward to you. We as humanity need to rise up against this thing, get yourself educated, and don't allow this to happen to us. These people, you know what? These people need to freaking pay me for all the data I'm inputting into the system. Let's sue Peter Thiel's balls off. How about that? All these private corporations that want to use our data and make money off of my data, how about if they start paying us for it? I'm not going to be a slave on their freaking wheel. Goodbye, everybody. Make sure you share this episode.
Good night, everyone.
You observed him smacking well-to-do girls in the butt.